what was the hardest thing for you during the counselling sessions with the LGBTQ plus community here? Oh, you get all the tough counselling type questions, huh?
Yeah. Hardest thing within counselling?
Yeah, it's very session specific.
During sessions? I guess sometimes feeling helpless in being able to help our clients can be a really difficult moment.
Yeah.
And our clients come in with complex lives, complex stories, and histories with a lot of pain. And being able to be an effective counselor sometimes also means being able to really empathize and hold that moment and hold the pain with them. So those moments can be tough and they can be hard, but they're also important for the clients and it's for me as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're caught up with the helplessness and you want to be able to say something or be able to do or have a system where you can refer them to. But it's not always the case.
Yeah.
That's reality, isn't it?
So, and I also feel that way sometimes as well. The helplessness may be about what to do with the client and also the helplessness with the system as well. We wish we could do that with the client, for the client, and then we know we can't, back to the limitations as well. I know the space you're talking about, I know I was reading something recently about holding spaces for people, and it's very important in our work as well. Even as we're doing that and recognizing that there are times we feel helpless, we can feel helpless. So a lot of awareness in our role as social workers, as counselors as well. So yeah, I appreciate you being so candid. Yeah.
Thank you. Was there a moment in your early years that you wished an organization like Oogachaga was there for you?
Certainly. And this is my so-called coming out story, which is already quite public. I was outed by my parents when I was about 18, and literally, it was 2 months after my 18th birthday, second year of JC. So, back then, was a very different time, obviously. I wish there was some kind of anonymous support I could have turned to to just talk to, just to get ideas, to feel like I'm not alone. Yeah, so that was a difficult time. This was when I was 18, so it feels like a lifetime ago. How many years ago is that? 20. I've kind of, so that was the time. I wish things were different. And again, maybe that has made me, or that's certainly helped to shape my views on support, my views on access to information, access to support, access to resources as well. So I suppose that's where some of it comes from, because obviously back then this was that long ago, before the internet.
Oogachaga has a place.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, even as views change or as views evolve, and the idea of community is constantly changing, there still is a place, hopefully, for us, for people who want to find us, have been referred to us.
What is the most important advice you would give to gay youth today?
Wow, see?
Big one.
I knew this was coming. I am just going to react to the word advice, because I know in our setting, in counselling, we tend to maybe be a bit more circumspect with the idea of advice, because sometimes part of our belief that it's not so much about telling people what to do. If I were to maybe reframe it a bit to, well, maybe not so much advice, more like what I've learned from my experiences, and if people watching this can relate to that, great. If they can connect to it, great. If it doesn't make sense to them, that's fine also. From my own experiences, at least, what I found useful is, to give myself time, to think, to feel, to figure things out, to even experience all the horrible, shitty things that may be happening, and at the same time to give myself time to, do things that are less shitty, that maybe I like. So that's what I found useful for me. yeah, experiencing the time and also giving myself the time as well. Yeah, I wonder if that makes sense to people.
It sounds as if being yourself is a journey, and to give yourself time in that journey and
Yeah.
space in that journey.
Yeah.
And you take care of yourself during that journey.
Yes, yeah, and there will be ups and downs. I mean, we know this, right? We don't say everything will be rosy. No, there will be ups and downs, and yet sometimes there may be more ups and downs. There may be more downs and ups, and at some point, maybe we'll figure it out. Yeah. Wow. Let's see what you make of this question, huh? What was the moment you realized the work you are doing is important for our community?
Man, that moment happens over and over and over again. Straight up from first day at work, when they just explain to you what we do.
Yeah.
And immediately it clicks.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
We won't exist if there wasn't a gap to be filled.
Yeah.
And every day, I think I do a lot of direct client work. Every day I'm reminded. Even when the client gets angry and says, "You're not helping me," it's because you need help. That's why you're saying that in anger.
And for them to feel safe enough to say that to you in the safety of our counselling room or over the phone, Yeah.
After the Orlando shootings, I'm reminded of clients who have actually teared up in our rooms. People, not just clients, but people who have spoken about how much it means that Oogachaga is a space. It's one of the few queer spaces in Singapore. And to imagine then this space being invaded. To imagine this space no longer being one of the only few beacons of safety. To have that space taken away from you. What do you foresee will happen when 377A eventually gets abolished?
I like that question. When? It's not if, it's when. That day. Again, I have different scenarios. One of the scenarios I have will be somebody has to wheel me home in my wheelchair because I will have a long day of celebration already because I'll be that old. Yeah, that's one scenario. Another scenario will be, and this is, I suppose, quite realistic, and so back to what we're talking about, the community as well. That's when a lot more of the work begins. Some of the work will have to continue. Some of the work that we do now will certainly continue. A big part of the work will have to begin because I think we have to remember when 377A is abolished, that's not the end. When 377A goes, a lot of the other institutional discrimination and policies also have to be slowly dismantled. Again, we look to international experience as well. When different countries repeal or decriminalize their legislation, there's other bits of legislation that have to be aligned as well, whether it's in education or housing or employment or social security, various other aspects. So that's why we have to tackle all that. And again, even around the world, the different aspects of life will be impacted as well. Legislation. So we don't just wait for 377A to be repealed and then we sit there and wait for things to happen. No, it doesn't happen that way, as we have learned. That is just one piece of legislation, however symbolic, however important, repeal it, and then things need to fall into place if we are truly talking about equality. That is just the first step to reaching equality. So making sure that there's equality in education, equality in access to services, equality in healthcare, social services, housing policies. So all that needs to be tackled as well. And policies is one thing. The experiences of the people in schools, in the workplace, all that needs to be safeguarded as well. So that's what I see will need to happen, will need to be done. On the day itself, when we hear news that 377A has been abolished, repealed, I think it will be a mixture of maybe some people have a party, I don't know, some people will take a nice long nap, go for a long holiday, recharge, self-care, refresh, very important. and then maybe a week later or the next day even get back to work. Yeah.
Of all you've said, I think the one that stands out to me most is that you're hopeful that you'll see this in your lifetime.
I'm 42 years old. Maybe I'll live to my 70s or 80s with or without a wheelchair or a walker. So yes, certainly I hope so in my lifetime.
In our search for the LGBTQ+ series, we have emailed many prominent organizations for opportunities to collaborate, believing that there are important stories to be told. True to its nature of acceptance, Oogachaga was one of the first respondents who agreed to meet us to learn more about each other. We remember the kindness of the cozy office where we met Yangfa, Executive Director of OC, who taught us the important work that they have done and is important in helping both LGBTQ+ individuals and society. When we heard that a major donor had pulled out funding without any stated reason, we knew we had to help too. This is OC's story, and in a way the stories of many LGBTQ+ individuals who has ever needed help. My name is Cha, and this has been SG Narratives.